Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be introducing the idea and topic of the coordinate plane system. Now, the coordinate plane system is one of the most fundamental and important concepts in mathematics, as it is the building block of much more complex things in later, more advanced mathematical courses. Now, don't let that intimidate you, because as we're going to take it step by step, we're just going to take pieces of it and understand just how the coordinate plane works. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is explain to you exactly what makes up the coordinate plane system. The coordinate plane system is a series of 4 quadrants. For right now, we're only going to stick to one that establishes the points of where a plotted line segment or function is represented. For right now, we're just going to talk about line segments and the formation of polygons, and we're only going to focus more on the positive values. Okay, we're not going to discuss negative values till a little later. So the first thing I'm going to do is point out a couple things about the coordinate plane system in itself. The coordinate plane system in itself is formed by the formation of 2 axes. You have your vertical axis, which is also known as your y-axis. I'll label it, and I'll just color it in blue. And you also have your horizontal axis, which is also known as your x-axis. Okay. Now, when you start to plot points on a axis or in a quadrant, this is going to be the first quadrant, and what you're going to notice that's very significant about it is all the values of both x and y are positive. I'll go into a little bit more on that in a couple moments. But what you're going to notice is all of your values are going to follow this kind of trend. Positive, positive. Now, the normal question that you'll get in terms of a coordinate plane system is plot the points of the following plot the following points in the following coordinate plane system, or create the formation of a polygon based off of the following points in the coordinate plane system. So let's look at this first example. Plot the points of the following in the coordinate plane system. It asks us to plot the point 0, 1 and 8, 1. And then determine its distance. Now, there is a formula for distance that we can use, but for right now, since we're going to notice that the lines are completely either vertical or horizontal, we can do a simple subtraction instead of having to use the formula. The formula is not hard, it's just that since these are more easier to notice the direct subtraction, we can use that method instead of having to get square roots involved, okay? So let's say it's asking us to find the point 0, 1 and the point 8, 1 and find its distance. There's 2 ways I want you guys to imagine this, and you can use whichever one you feel it works more comfortable for you. The first example is, I want you guys to imagine that you're on a treasure hunt and you have a treasure map. And these points establish where your hidden treasure is. Here's how it works. The first number of any given set of values is the x-axis. That tells you how many units you're going to go to the left or to the right. Now, since this is an all positive quadrant, which means all the values are going to be positive, you're going to be going to the right and you're going to be going up. Again, later when we introduce the negative numbers, we'll be going in different directions. But the first value is your x value, and your second value, oops, I'm sorry, that's supposed to be red. And your second value is your y value. Now, all that means is that it corresponds to the axis that we're talking about, okay? So the first value is going to be your x, which means that's how many units you're going to first move down the x-axis. The second value is going to tell you how many units you're going to move up or down. But again, this is a positive quadrant, so we're only going to be moving up. For example, if I want the point 0, 1, again, my treasure map is going to tell me that I'm not going to move left and right any units, but if I am, according to the y, I'm going to move up 1 unit. So I'm going to stay where I am for the right and left movement, but I'm going to move up 1 for the second movement. And that is my point. Now that is just a point, okay? We haven't formed a line segment yet. However, we can do that now by looking at our second point. Another way that you guys can imagine this is, say that you're on a soccer team, okay? And this is the field that you're working with, okay? Again, don't worry about going negative yet. Just keep it on a positive track. But let's say that your coach gave you a play, okay? And he told you, okay, for this next play, I want you to run 8 units, then up 1. That's exactly how you can approach it. He wants you to run 8 units. Again, the 8 is your x-axis, so that's left and right. So he wants you to run 8 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then he wants you to run up 1. And that's our second point. Now, we have 2 points. To make a line segment, all we have to do is connect them. Oops, sorry, that's not very good. All we have to do is connect them. Now, as I mentioned previously, notice how we have a perfectly either vertical or horizontal line. And the reason that that's good is because we can solve for our distance simply by subtracting the larger number, we have 8, subtracting it from the smaller number. Now, coming to this point, I want to illustrate something very important. The point at which the intersections of the 2 axes meet is called the origin. And the origin has a location or value of 0, 0. Alright? That is going to be very significant because you always want to start at the origin. Okay? Starting at the origin is always going to make things a lot easier for you. Okay? Alright, so now we have our 2 points plotted and we have our line segment. So there's a couple ways to determine the distance. You can simply count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or, if you notice how the ones are the same, which means that your y-axis does not change, you can simply look strictly at the x values. And here we have 8 and 0. And all you have to do to solve for the distance is take the larger value and subtract off the smaller value from it. Okay? So let's look at another example. Alright, this one tells us to plot the line segment that is formed from the points 5, 2, 5, 6. So again, again, whatever way makes you feel more comfortable, you can choose as it's a treasure hunt, or you can pretend it's on a soccer field and your coach is giving you directions. Let's go back to the treasure hunt. Alright, I want to find the point 5, 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, we're just in the positive quadrant, so we're going to move, and if you want, if it helps you, you can put plus signs in front of all of your numbers. So we're going to move to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, again starting at the origin. So right now we're at 5, 0, because we haven't moved up yet. But now we're going to move 2 units in the upward direction. 1, 2. So our first point is right here. Okay. Now let's look at the second point. We have 5, 6. Okay. If we start here at the origin, again, our origin is the point 0, 0. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, first number is indicated by the x-axis. Then we go up 6 from the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's our second point. Now, again, this being a treasure hunt, let's say that you're trying to calculate a distance from where you were and where your final, I don't know, like treasure is. Now again, there's a couple ways to do this. Because there's no difference in the x-axis this time, last time it was a horizontal line, but we had no change in y. But this time we have no change in x. So what we can do is we can cover up the y values, the x values, and we can just simply subtract off 2 from 6, being that this value minus this value. Okay, sorry, this is actually supposed to be up here. Okay, alright, so again, just re-illustrating that, cover up the values that are the same. We take the smaller value and subtract off from the larger value. Fortunately for us right now, we can do that, but later on we're going to notice that these values are not always going to be this pretty. And that's kind of when we're going to use the distance formula. But for right now, anytime the x values are the same or the y values are the same, cover the same values up and look at the distance, which is found by subtracting off the smaller number from the larger number. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to stop it there, and I'm going to do another video on the coordinate plane system. Right now, as you guys can see, we're doing just line segments, but in the next video we're going to be doing the formation of polygons in the coordinate plane system. Don't let that intimidate you. All that means is that instead of taking 2 points and forming a line, we're going to take 3 or more points and make up a shape. Okay? Alright guys, if you have any questions, again, please do not hesitate to contact me. Alright, I will see you guys shortly, and thanks for watching.